I thought my husband's best friend understood me better, but when we got caught, he ran, my husband took everything, and I became the ghost who haunts my own children's happiness. The Uber driver kept glancing at me in the rearview mirror as I sobbed into my phone, begging Tyler not to hang up, telling him it wasn't what it looked like even though we both knew it was exactly what it looked like. My husband Ben had walked into our bedroom 20 minutes early from his business trip to find me with Tyler, his best friend since high school, the best man at our wedding, the godfather to our daughter. The surprise on all three of our faces would have been comedic if it wasn't the exact moment my entire life collapsed. Ben and I had been together for 7 years, married for 4. We had the kind of love story people envied, meeting at a coffee shop when he accidentally grabbed my drink, a proposal at sunset on the beach where we'd had our first kiss, a Pinterest-perfect barn wedding where everyone cried during our vows. We had 2-year-old twins, Lily and Luke, who had Ben's eyes and my stubbornness. We had Sunday pancake traditions and inside jokes and a 5-year plan that included another baby and a house with a pool. Tyler had always been there. Through our dating years, through the wedding, through the pregnancy scares and morning sickness and sleepless nights with newborns. He was Ben's brother in every way that mattered. When he went through his divorce last year, we let him crash in our guest room for 3 months. I'd cook extra portions for dinner. We'd drink wine after Ben went to bed, talking about his ex-wife's betrayal, how she cheated with her coworker, how he'd never saw it coming. I listened. I sympathized. I told him he deserved better. The shift was so gradual I can't pinpoint when it started. Maybe it was the night Ben fell asleep during movie night and Tyler and I stayed up finishing the film, our feet accidentally touching under the blanket. Maybe it was when he started texting me directly instead of the group chat, sending memes about parenting fails and asking how my day was. Maybe it was when I started putting on mascara before he came over, telling myself it was just because I wanted to look presentable. Ben's work trips increased to twice a month. 12-hour days became the norm. He'd stumble home exhausted, kiss the twins goodnight after they were already asleep, and pass out before we could have a real conversation. Meanwhile, Tyler was there. Helping with bath time when I was overwhelmed. Bringing takeout when I was too tired to cook. Teaching Lily to ride her tricycle. Being the hands-on presence Ben couldn't be because he was killing himself to make senior partner. The first kiss happened in my kitchen on a Thursday afternoon. The twins were napping. Tyler was helping me install baby locks on the cabinets. Our hands touched reaching for the same screwdriver, and suddenly we were kissing against the counter where I make my children's lunches. I pulled away, horrified. We agreed it was a mistake. Just proximity and loneliness colliding. We promised it would never happen again. We lied. For 2 months, I became someone I didn't recognize. Scheduling pediatrician appointments that were really hotel meetups while my mom watched the twins. Deleting texts and clearing browser history like a teenager. Buying lingerie with cash so it wouldn't show up on the credit card. Feeling sick with guilt every time Ben kissed me goodbye, every time he thanked Tyler for being such a good friend, every time he mentioned how lucky he was to have 2 people he trusted completely. I told myself I'd end it after Ben's next promotion. After the holidays. After Tyler found his own place. After. But we were addicted to the secret, to the wrongness of it, to the way forbidden felt like freedom. Tyler would send me poems about how I was his soulmate, how Ben had found me first but he loved me best, how we were meant to be together. I let myself believe we were some tragic love story instead of what we really were, 2 selfish people destroying a good man. Ben's flight home from Chicago landed early. A storm had pushed them ahead of schedule. He texted, but I was in the shower with Tyler, my phone on silent in my purse. He'd wanted to surprise me with flowers, to make up for all the late nights and missed dinners. Instead, he walked into our bedroom to find his wife with his best friend, in the bed where our children were conceived, under the wedding photo where Tyler stood beside him as he promised to forsake all others. Nobody spoke for what felt like hours but was probably seconds. Tyler grabbed his clothes and ran, like a coward. Ben stood frozen in the doorway, still holding the flowers, his laptop bag sliding off his shoulder. I wrapped myself in our comforter, the one we've registered for as an engaged couple giddy with hope, and watched my husband's face cycle through confusion, recognition, and then something worse than anger, complete devastation. "The kids are at my mom's," I said, as if that somehow made it better. He dropped the flowers and walked out. No yelling. No questions. No drama. Just the quiet click of the door closing, the sound of his car starting, and then silence. I called him 43 times that night. Tyler called him too, leaving pathetic voicemails about making a mistake, about being sorry, about how Ben was his brother and he'd never forgive himself. We were both blocked by midnight. Ben came back the next morning with his brother and a moving truck. They packed his things while I sat on the porch holding Lily, who kept asking why Daddy wouldn't talk to Mommy, why Uncle Mike looked so angry, why Uncle Tyler wasn't helping Daddy move his stuff. I had no answers that a 2-year-old could understand. I had no answers at all. The custody battle was swift and brutal. Ben's lawyer presented text messages between Tyler and me that Ben had recovered from our shared cloud storage, including ones where we discussed lying to him, where we made fun of his exhaustion, where Tyler called him clueless, and I responded with laughing emojis. The judge's disgust was palpable. Adultery with the spouse's best friend, the betrayal of trust, the premeditation evident in our messages, it all painted me as unfit for primary custody. Ben got the twins Sunday through Thursday. I got weekends and Wednesday dinners. Tyler fled to Seattle the week after discovery. Transferred his job, deleted his social media, changed his number. His last text to me before disappearing was, "This was a mistake. Please don't contact me again." 2 months of saying he loved me, of promising we'd figure it out together, of swearing I was worth any consequence, and he vanished the second those consequences became real. I was left to face the explosion alone, painted as the seductress who destroyed a 20-year friendship. The social annihilation was complete and immediate. Screenshots of my texts with Tyler spread through our friend group like wildfire. Ben's family, who'd embraced me like a daughter, couldn't look at me during drop-offs. My own sister told me I'd gotten what I deserved. The mom group I'd been part of since the twins were born expelled me from their Facebook page and WhatsApp chat. I went from having a village to being exiled from it in less than a week. I had to sell the house in the divorce settlement. The market was down, and we took a loss, but Ben wanted it gone. Too many memories. Too much betrayal soaked into the walls. He bought a new place closer to his parents, a clean slate with a room for the twins decorated exactly like their old one so they'd feel comfortable. I moved into a 2-bedroom apartment that smells like the previous tenant's cigarettes no matter how many candles I burn. 6 months after everything exploded, Ben started dating Rachel. A pediatric dentist with no kids, no baggage, and no history of destroying families. She's 32, beautiful, and genuinely kind. The twins adore her. She does crafts with them, takes them to the zoo, teaches them about taking care of their teeth with silly songs and puppet shows. She's everything I should have been, grateful for Ben's dedication, supportive of his career, trustworthy with his heart. I see them sometimes at school events. Ben in the husband uniform I used to mock, khakis and a polo, diaper bag slung over his shoulder, absolutely glowing as he watches our babies perform in their preschool concerts. Rachel beside him, her hand on his back, looking at him like he hung the moon. The same way I used to look at him before I decided our comfortable love wasn't exciting enough. Before I decided I deserved butterflies more than stability. The twins call her Miss Rachel for now, but I know that will change. She'll be at every milestone I missed during the week. First days of school. Tooth fairy visits. Nightmare comfort. Sick days. The mundane moments that build a childhood. She'll be their safe place while I become the weekend entertainment, desperately trying to create magic in 48-hour increments. Dating is impossible. My reputation precedes me in our small suburb. Home wrecker follows me like a shadow, even though the only home I wrecked was mine. Men match with me on apps just to tell me I'm disgusting for what I did to a good man like Ben. Others figure I'm easy, sending explicit messages about what they'd like to do with a dirty cheater. The few decent ones unmatched the second they Google me and find the public court records detailing my affair with my husband's best friend. Work has become my only refuge, but even there, I'm the cautionary tale whispered about at happy hours. The one who had it all and threw it away for a cliché affair. My boss, going through her own divorce, told me point blank that I'm the reason women don't trust other women around their husbands. That I've made it harder for all of us. She wasn't wrong. I found out through Instagram that Tyler got engaged last month. To a woman who looks nothing like me. A brunette yoga instructor with a rescue dog and no complicated past. His profile is public again, full of hiking photos and couple selfies, captions about finding the one and when you know, you know. There's no trace of the man who spent 2 months telling me Ben didn't deserve me, who promised we'd build a life together, who swore our love was worth any price. He paid nothing. I paid everything. My mom watches the twins when I have them on weekends and need to run errands. Last week, Lily asked her why Mommy and Daddy don't live together anymore. My mom, never one to mince words, told her, sometimes mommies make bad choices. Lily thought about it and said, like when I drew on the wall? My mom said yes, exactly like that, except Mommy's bad choice couldn't be fixed with paint. The worst part is watching Ben become the father he always had the potential to be. Without the stress of our deteriorating marriage, without the burden of my constant disappointment, he's thriving. He coached the twins' soccer team this season. Makes it to every bedtime when he has them. Cooks actual meals instead of ordering takeout. He's lost weight, started running again, rejoined his basketball league. He's becoming the engaged, present partner I accused him of never being, just for someone else. Rachel moved in with him last month. The twins told me excitedly about their new bunk beds, the playground Ben built in the backyard, the way Rachel makes better pancakes than anyone, including me. Lily made sure to clarify. They're building traditions I'm not part of. Inside jokes I don't understand. A family album where I'm just the biological necessity, cropped out whenever possible. I write letters to Ben that I'll never send. Apologies that would only sound manipulative. Explanations that explain nothing. I want to tell him that Tyler meant nothing, but that's not true. He meant everything in the moment and nothing after. I want to tell him I miss our life, but I'm the one who burned it down. I want to tell him I see now what I had, but vision doesn't matter after you've already jumped off the cliff. The final twist came last week. My lawyer called to inform me Ben and Rachel are engaged. He wanted to give me a heads up before the twins mentioned it. The wedding is in October. Small. Family only. The twins will be in the wedding party. Tyler won't be the best man this time. That bridge is ash. Everything we touched turned to ash. I hung up the phone and sat in my cigarette-scented apartment, surrounded by every other weekend's worth of toys, looking at the princess castle Lily left here that she'll probably forget by next visit. I thought about the wedding I destroyed for the wedding I'll never have. The best friend we both lost for 2 months of lies. The father my children deserved full-time for the mother they get 4 days a month. There's a special kind of hell in watching the life you threw away get rebuilt without you, better without you. In knowing that your children will grow up in a happy home, just not yours. In seeing your husband become the man you always wanted him to be for a woman who didn't have to beg for it. In realizing that you were the problem all along. My therapist asks me what I learned from all this. The answer is simple and useless. I learned that some mistakes aren't mistakes at all. They're choices that reveal who you really are. And who I really am is someone who had a good man's complete trust and traded it for the attention of a coward who ran at the first sign of consequences. I destroyed a friendship that survived 20 years. A marriage that could have lasted 50. A family that my children deserved. All for what? For poems and hotel rooms and the thrill of being someone's secret. For 2 months of feeling special with someone who forgot me the moment it got hard. The last time I saw Ben was at preschool graduation. He was there with Rachel, her engagement ring catching the light as she helped Luke with his tiny cap and gown. Ben looked right through me like I was a ghost. Which I suppose I am. The ghost of choices that echo forever. The ghost of a woman who had everything and chose nothing. The ghost who haunts her own children's happiness from a careful distance, watching them live the life she demolished, knowing the only gift she can give them now is staying gone enough that they can pretend she was never there at all.